picture of yourself and think, that's me? I don't want to show that picture to the world. That's not what I want to look like. Or you see yourself in a played back video and you don't like how you look and you don't like how you sound. If you can say yes to either of those, you're not alone and you're in the right place, because this podcast changes that. Welcome to Confidence on Camera with me, your host, Christine Brunelli, where we talk all things style, polish, and presence for women who lead. And today, I've talked about this before on this podcast, but today I'm going to give you a little more detail about why wine might be wrecking your glow and your confidence on camera. Ooh, it's a tough one, but especially if you're in midlife, you definitely want to hear this. It's a shorty episode that I hope inspires you to maybe think about your wine choices when you have them and when not to have them. Are you ready? Let's dive in. A few months ago, I had a friend that went through divorce, and I invited her over to my home for dinner. And it happened to be in one of the months. I was running a dry January challenge. And every year when I do this challenge, it goes a little longer. I might go into March or April. And it's because I feel so good. But I'm not sober. Like, I don't have a full sober lifestyle. I will have a glass of champagne at a wedding toast. I enjoy a really good mojito sometimes, but I'm not a regular drinker. And part of that is my age. I'm going to get back to the story about the girl going through divorce in a minute. I just want you to know, if you have not crossed over into full-blown menopause yet, what I'm going to share with you is setting you up, because nobody's talking about it. You can't drink the same that you did before menopause. It is across the board true for every woman I've met that has gone a full 12 months without the menstrual cycle, right? And they go in their full-blown menopause. Your body can't process alcohol the same. But circling back to when you're, premenopause or perimenopause, it's still there. The effects of what I want to talk about are still there. And in your 30s, in my 30s, I could have a cocktail or I could have a glass of wine, no problem, more than one. In my 40s, even into my mid 40s, I could still have a couple glasses of wine, no problem. Into late 40s and 50s, forget about it. Like, it has to be earlier in the day, one glass way before I go to bed. Things change. But I will say that it is very difficult when people are used to you enjoying a glass of wine and you decide not to have one. And this gal that I had over for dinner, I bought a bottle of wine that I opened just for her because she has hosted so many dinners at her home and I knew what she liked. I made her dinner and she really felt uncomfortable that I was not drinking. I didn't mind at all. It wasn't there was nothing coming out of my mouth. She just said, "Why aren't you having any wine?" And I said, "Oh, I'm running a challenge and I want to be authentic to the people in the challenge. So really, I feel free. I had this bottle. Don't worry about it." And anyway, at the end of dinner, we had a great time. But as she was leaving, she said, "Call me back for dinner when you start drinking again." It's so interesting. Women connect over wine, don't we? We connect over margarita nights, maybe a Friday happy hour. We connect over cocktails and charcuterie boards, whatever it is. And it's just sad to me that some people can't connect without it. It's really interesting when you go through like a challenge, a 30-day challenge, and I will be bringing it back in January 2026, the Dry January Challenge, because it's powerful. And the results that come from that challenge are going to be talked about in this episode today. But it is interesting that we have a really hard time being around people if we drink and they're not. I don't know what that is. I really don't know what that is, because now that I've gone sober for several months at a time, I am totally fine if somebody wants to. I'm not judging somebody if they're drinking and I'm not. It's not uncomfortable. You could be having a lemonade for all I know, right? But there is something about it. People don't like drinking alone, and especially women. When we get together, we want everybody to be doing it. And you will notice as you age, the way you process alcohol changes. And I used to love a bottle of wine over dinner with a girlfriend. And I'm going to say 2 people can drink a bottle of wine pretty easily if your dinner lasts 3 hours. If you haven't seen that friend in a while and you chit chat the night away. But now, no matter what, I feel like crap when I drink wine. And I want you to know the hard truth of what happens in midlife. Let's just say about mid-40s, what happens? This is what happens to your body. Your estrogen and progesterone are declining. That used to be a buffer. Those 2 things used to buffer the impact of alcohol. You do know that they say, red wine can be healthy. Bottom line, it's a toxin. Alcohol itself is a toxin. So you need things in your body to be able to metabolize it, process it. And your liver detox slows down as you age. It takes longer to process even one drink. It disrupts your REM sleep. Okay, this is a very big one. You fall asleep fast, but you don't sleep well through the night. Now, when you're younger and maybe you haven't hit perimenopause yet, you can enjoy that wine and your sleep will probably be fine. You might knock out really quick. You might sleep hard until the next day. You might feel like, it's like taking a NyQuil, a nighttime NyQuil. Yep, not the same. When perimenopause hits and menopause hits, you wake up in the middle of the night. Your body is sweating and it's not hot flashes. It's the body sweating out because it's trying to detox. It's terrible. It also dehydrates your skin. It makes all of the fine lines more pronounced and it makes your cheeks look flat. They don't look as pronounced as they do when you're not drinking. And part of that is because you're puffy. It causes inflammation. It also not only causes inflammation under your eyes and in your face, alcohol inflames your gut and your brain. So you have that going on. So when you're going through all this perimenopause and menopausal shift and your hormones are all wackadoo, now we throw in this inflammatory agent, which is alcohol. No alcohol on the planet is anti-inflammatory. No matter what, none of them are. It's an inflammatory agent. So it causes the body to react with inflammation. And the gut and brain are part of it. And then it spikes your cortisol, especially if you have it at night. Well, cortisol, everybody knows because it's become such a sexy buzzword in the last 5-10 years. Cortisol is what contributes to midlife weight gain because when your estrogen drops, which used to manage your cortisol levels, now we don't have estrogen to manage it, and all of the fat is stored in the midsection because of cortisol not being maintained and managed in the bloodstream. Well, here comes a glass of wine and your cortisol goes up. It's just this wild biochemical reaction. And guess what? All of these things show up on camera. All of them. So when women come to me for photo shoots or like a video prep, they're usually super excited, but they're like, I don't know what to wear. I need to lose 15 pounds. Like maybe you can relate to that. You're thinking, I need to get my brand photos done, but I would really like to be one size smaller, which is about 10 pounds a size in women's clothing. And, I just want to look my best. I don't want to spend all this money. And they want to be the best version of themselves. And I can always tell when I see someone's pictures, like they'll show me their old headshots, I can always tell if they were drinking or not. Their eyes are puffier, their skin is tired, they just don't have the same radiance. They're still beautiful, of course. I'm not saying they're not beautiful, but they don't look as their sparkle is dulled. I think that's the best way to put it. There's just something missing. And if you've ever gone dry, gone sober for any time, you know what I'm talking about. It changes your skin. So my rule for my clients, this is my rule. If I was a photographer, I would 100% say this. Actually, I know photographers that do say this. No booze for a minimum of 2 weeks before your photo shoot or batching videos for social media, batch recording videos. This is what I tell everyone. 2 weeks, period. Nothing, not even a sip of wine, zero zip, nada. Why 2 weeks? because that's how long it takes for inflammation to noticeably drop. Your skin tone will even out, your eyes will brighten, you will feel lighter, clearer, and sharper. And if you've never done it, let me just tell you, all of the redness that comes from drinking alcohol, you get flush when you drink a glass of wine. You start to flush because it's a vasodilator. It makes your blood vessels open. All of that uneven skin tone, anything that's caused by alcohol goes away. I'm not saying it's going to make all of the little broken capillaries disappear. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm saying alcohol-induced discoloration in your skin, puffiness in your face, puffiness in your body, aches and pains in your joints, all of that caused by alcohol goes away, so that by the time your photo shoot it rolls around and you're like, I feel really good. I can even button my jeans a little better. It's amazing. It really does wreck your glow. I'm telling you, you've got to try it. And you know what's interesting? Even your posture changes because you're not dealing with low-grade fatigue. Because when you drink wine in the perimenopause or menopausal phase, you're not getting good sleep. And you wake up not rested and your body feels tired. So you start to sit up taller. It was my own wake-up call when I went through my 40s and my marriage was, it was not going so great. Instead of dealing with things, I was numbing. So was he. We're both drinking wine, at the end of the night. Kids are, in high school. Maybe you can picture this. I don't know. Kids are in high school, they're away doing their own thing in the house, and it's just a glass of wine, and you're either doom scrolling on social media or you're watching a TV show, and it might be 2 glasses in. And I looked in the mirror maybe after 2 weeks of that. And I looked and I thought, I look like I haven't slept in 2 weeks. Like my face doesn't look good. What is wrong with me? And then I ran my first Dry January challenge a couple years later, and I looked in the mirror after maybe 3 weeks and went, oh, that was the turning point. And then I did a deep dive into how does this affect us when we want to look good in photos? Because the main thing my clients come to me with is, I hate how I look in pictures, Christine. I am tired of spending money on all of these brand photo shoots or even family photos if it's not related to your business. I am tired of not liking how I look. I don't like my puffiness, my double chin. I don't feel good in my body. I want to feel good again. And I had that same thing. And so when I started diving into, what if we started removing booze a couple weeks before the photo shoot and see what happens? People came back to me and said, oh my gosh, that was amazing. Some people tried it for a month. Their faces changed. They were actually excited to get their hair done and have their makeup done for the photo shoot. They felt better. So if you are planning on a photo shoot anytime in the near future, if you're prepping, or maybe it's a video series, or even a speaking event where you're going to be photographed or recorded on video, replace wine or cocktails with sparkling water, put it in a wine glass, throw lemon in it, do something to make it like substitute, or have a mocktail. You can even add mint if you want. I have fresh mint in my garden. It's summer right now as I'm recording this, and it's so nice to throw it into like a glass of sparkling water. It's wonderful. And it's just a substitute. There is something about the act of having the glass. You don't feel cheated. If you're not addicted and abusing alcohol, you won't feel cheated. You'll feel really good. You can, support your liver with some extra supplements if you want, but I am saying just go straight water and do your sparkling water and doctor it up so you can give yourself 2 weeks, 4 weeks is even better, and you will notice the difference, not just in your skin and how you look, but in your body confidence, in how you move. So that's your challenge. Go dry for 14 days or 30 if you're up for it before your next big visibility moment, whether it's a photo shoot, a speaking engagement, or you're going to batch record videos for your business. No wine, no cocktails, just water, mocktails, and good sleep. And then tell me how you feel. I would love to hear about it. Send me a DM. You can find me on Instagram at Christine Brunelli or leave a comment here under the podcast. I want to know how it works for you, because when you show up glowing, clear-eyed, vibrant, magnetic, all those things, it's not just good lighting, it's the absence of what's dulling you. You got that? I can make anybody look good. No matter what, I can add great lighting and camera angles and amazing makeup and make you look good. But if your eyes are missing the sparkle that they have when you feel good in your body, I can't fix that. That can't be faked. That's the thing that we're talking about, not just the skin, but your ability to feel more vibrant and maybe even more youthful. That is what happens when you remove alcohol before a photo shoot, and you deserve to be seen at your best, my friend. I told you, short episode, we're in for 15 minutes, and that is it. Thanks for listening. If this resonated with you, share this with a friend. And until next time, show up, stand out, and shine. I'll be back soon.